BCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now, here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow. You know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com alongside Lucas DeSangro. I'm Fearon Derry, and we are live here at the MFPW Arena. We're actually inside the locker room, switching things up a little bit, going from the commentator table inside the locker room, hence the slight echo that you might hear in the background.
Hello.
Or that could just be Lucas being a D-bag. Who knows? Yeah, I'm starting early today.
Wow, not even
30 seconds into the show. I know.
right off the gate.
Just swinging for the fences. Well, we got a lot to get into over the course of this hour. A couple of things. What former WWE champion said that he considered the Octagon of the UFC?
Thunderdome. Sorry.
No, maybe not. Speaking of the UFC, CM Punk's debut UFC fight date has been announced for realsies this time.
Oh, wait, really? Oh, that's great.
Yes, for realsies.
Only took like 2 years. Oh.
Also, a longtime Ring of Honor star announces his departure, and the wrestling world says yes to a Cruiserweight Classic commentator. All that and more this hour, but first, let's get into the top story of the week. Without question, WWE announcing on Tuesday that Roman Reigns has been suspended for 30 days for his first wellness policy violation.
Yeah.
Reigns issuing a statement on Twitter regarding his suspension saying, quote, "I apologize to my family, friends, and fans for my mistake in violating WWE's wellness policy. No excuses. I own it."
And you see, you got to respect somebody like that because and people seem to give Reigns a lot of flack. Thank you for because I didn't know if we could use the C word variation of
Yes, we could. But
yeah, they gave him a lot of crap over the fact that he's getting he owns up to his mistakes. Like, I respect the hell out of Reigns. I don't I like him. He's not exactly one of my favorite wrestlers, but I don't have a problem with him. And people are still giving him flack for suspending. Like, they just want a reason to hate Roman Reigns, and that's what bothers me because you want somebody.
Does this harken back to maybe a couple of years ago where a much younger Lucas said something along the lines of, "You guys are hating on Cena because you have no other choice"?
Well, they have a choice now. It's Roman Reigns, apparently. But, yeah, I mean, no, it's like, this guy, what more do you want? This guy owns up to his mistakes. He takes responsibility for his actions, and you still find a way to,
Well, here's the thing. I mean, for those who don't know, the wellness policy...
Very stringent.
Very stringent, very wordy, and very legalese. In fact, I have it here in my notes, a list of all of the...
They're not in my notes, are they?
No, they're not.
Oh, of course.
Well, because I figured we'd have a little chat about it. But plus, if I went through all of the various things, it would, A, take up the entire hour, and B, it would make me sound like Ben Stein, just reading,
Bueller?
Pretty much.
Bueller.
Androstenedione, Bolasterone, Boldenone.
I was going to say,
Bueller. Yeah, that's pretty much where that was...
I was going to say, no, you give me a copy of that. I could point stuff out wait, why is this on the list?
Well, yeah, we'll get more into that over the course of the hour. That's
Plus, it'll help me out because I might need to get off some medication in the near future.
Well, yeah.
If Adam Rose is going to get suspended for Adderall, then I might need to make a change.
Well, the key word on some of these things is the non-medical use.
So, kids that borrow it from their buddies to take an exam, that sort of...
Yeah, that would be considered a non-medical. But if you have an actual prescription for it and are taking it as you're directed, so if you're being compliant and responsible, then you don't have any issues. But, yeah, we'll get more into that.
For the win.
We'll get more into that over the course of the hour. Speaking of wins, a fair amount of them at Money in the Bank this past Sunday. That was the other, although as far as our head-to-head record.
You can't really see it, but I have such a bleep-eating grin right now.
And why exactly is that? Because we had the same win-loss record.
No, not that. Just because of what happened in Money in the Bank.
Oh, well, yes. We'll get into that coming up in a little bit. Golden Truth beating Breezango in the pre-show, or the I can't think of the word other than pre-show. I don't know what it is. It's the kickoff match. That's what I was trying to think of. One of the kickoff matches. The other, the Lucha Dragons beating the Dudley Boys against both of our guesses. Also in the you
know what the thing was? That was more of like a throwaway match, though. To become not in terms of like WWE. I mean, like, I'm talking about like you didn't really know who was going to win. It's one of those.
It was a toss-up, I think. Was
yeah.
Probably a better way to put that.
My bad.
The fatal four-way match, New Day retaining the tag team championship despite the usual kiss of death, where Michael Cole mentioned how long a particular champion has reigned. Usually,
the champion's curse.
It's the champion's curse. Exactly. That's the whammy stat, as it's also been called in other pro sports.
A whammy. Or no, maybe it's a slammy stat for wrestling.
Very possible. Plus, since we're not here, since we're not in studio, I wouldn't be able to pull up the whammy buzzer from the old Press Your Luck show. But that's probably what I'd go for.
You know, I really want there to be a drop though for like Champ Kind from Anchorman. A whammy, because that like was his catchphrase too. We could use that.
Okay, we'll see. I'll try to get that working on that at some point. Baron Corbin beating Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I actually felt pretty good about my guesses, because at that point I was 3-1 heading into the middle part of the pay-per-view.
I had only won the first one, and then.
But then things turned. Charlotte and Dana Brooke ended up beating Natalya and Becky Lynch. And when I initially had kind of circled who I thought was going to win, I initially circled Charlotte and Dana Brooke and then changed my mind. Shame on me for not going with my gut instinct.
Another notable thing out of the match was Natalya blindsiding Becky Lynch after their loss. I mean, tough break for Becky. She's just been losing friends and matches left and right. Come on.
I thought you were going to say she was lynched because, punted her last name. But, I mean, she has been kind of beaten up by quite a few people, so I guess that's...
Just keep kicking last there, girl. Come on. You got this.
There you go.
Not even, like, in a crush sort of way, but, like, she's one of my favorite divas just because she's quirky and awesome. So that's, like... I'm sorry, anybody that can use puns that, like, what's the word? Profusely and still make them funny. Yeah.
That explains why you like me so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Apollo Crews pinning Sheamus. I was waiting for you to disagree with that. And for some reason, I thought Sheamus was going to win that, and he didn't.
Mm.
So kudos to Apollo Crews. AJ Styles beating John Cena with a little help from his friends. He got by with a little help from his friends, as the song so eloquently says.
With a little help from my friend.
Yeah, you can go with either version of that, either the Beatles or Joe Cocker.
I only really know the Beatles part of it.
I figured. Wonder Years? No, it didn't.
No.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you're basically the spitting image of Fred Savage at that age, anyway.
So I'm gonna have a younger brother that's really funny in a TV show.
Well, you do have an older brother who's making his way to TV in a different sense. He's entertaining for all the wrong reasons.
Ben Savage was.
Yeah, I know where you were going.
No, I know. I'm saying no. I'm not. I know you know. But Boy Meets World. I used to watch that every morning.
That explains a lot.
Topanga. Anyway,
I don't even know if I can explain the gesture that Lucas provided.
Well, that was
Topanga.
Okay, let's relax.
I say you're the one who needs to relax. Especially because of the next match where your boy, Dean Ambrose, winning the Money in the Bank ladder match, beating Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho, and Alberto Del Rio.
For a second, I thought it was going to be Owens, too. I thought Owens was going to win. I'm like, yes. Oh, I freaked out. We were at the open ring for the Monster Factory, and I freaked out in front of... I'm just glad Danny Cage wasn't there, because he would have been like, oh, boy, Probably a lot more than that.
Yeah, there are a few words that cannot be expressed over the airwaves here probably would have been said at that particular instance.
I mean, if it was a pre-recorded episode, we could have bleeped it, but yeah, pretty much.
We'll have more of those coming up soon, I'm sure.
I'm so sorry, Ted. You're probably just like pacing.
No, he's fine. If anything, it's more program director Sean Lerman who would be fielding those calls. And I don't think he's, to his credit, he's not exactly ear pinned to the speaker, wondering what we're going to say next. So thankfully, we haven't given him a reason to.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah, it means we're not really doing our job that much.
Well,
Alive, raise hell, and leave, as Stone Cold Steve Austin once put on a T-shirt.
And it sold a lot of them.
Yep.
Rusev beating Titus O'Neil to retain the U.S. title. Mm-hmm. Not really much of a surprise there. The surprise, though, came in Seth Rollins beating Roman Reigns to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in a great 26-minute match.
Yeah, that took forever. There were so many, but it was great because as many times Reigns kicked out, Rollins kicked out too. So that was great.
It left you on the edge of your seat wondering who was going to win.
At that point, it was the one time when Reigns kicked out of the running pedigree, I was like, oh, for Pete's sake. For Pete's sake.
Yeah, get on with it. That was kind of your mindset there.
Yeah.
But then, just when you think the pay-per-view's over, nope. Here comes your boy one more time to yes. One of our fellow students here, Fuji Brown, coming in here with more gestures that I can't describe over the airwaves. But let's just say that he was describing Lucas's excitement at the time that Dean Ambrose came out to cash in his Money in the Bank paycheck. Sometimes, what can I say? A picture's worth more than 1,000 words in this case.
It's like Dana Gould. I paint a picture with words. Enjoy the image. Anyway, so yeah, Ambrose is now the champion.
And in this case, you can take your pick as to what color that paint was.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, that was more like the CZW's locker room's reaction, if you really think about it.
Mm-hmm. But yes, Dean Ambrose cashing in the newly won Money in the Bank briefcase and pinning Seth Rollins to become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
He blindsided him. He did I've never seen that done with Money in the Bank before. Because, because that music hits, Rollins is facing the Titantron, and I knew, Ambrose is smarter than that. He's coming up right behind him with the briefcase, bam. I thought as soon as the bell rung, I'm like, Reigns, please don't get up. Please stay down. Please stay down. And he stayed down, and I went crazy. So it's...
And he'll continue to be down for the next 20-some-odd days.
Yeah.
Well, at least with the suspension.
Yeah, we'll get more into that and stuff. We'll get...
What, Fuji? We already talked about that.
Yeah, let's end...
Was that a good liner there? Is that what you're...
We'll get more into that.
I was going to say, would it be safe to get Fuji on the microphone here, or is he just better off kind of providing commentary in the background? Oh, what, son? And things of that nature.
Voice is muffled, make sure he doesn't drop any expletives. Yeah, I think that would...
Yeah, none of us curse that much until the microphones are turned off.
Yeah, just ask Bender.
Well, yeah, that was the one time where I think we did give Ted a heart attack.
Yeah, it's like the twice in 1 year. I'm pretty sure it was Nubius and then Bender.
Well, yeah, Ted wasn't around for when Nubius...
Oh, yeah, he wasn't.
Probably all for the better. Anyway, let's go ahead and take care of our first bit of business because the time just flies that much around here, and it's also time to let you know that this summer is a great time to check out George's Cards and Collectibles. Already a bunch of appearances, including most recently last night, Damian Sandow. So that's why Chad Kensington showed up late to... No. Kidding. He's so going to come after me later.
He probably doesn't listen. He's probably too busy, getting all his 8x10s
Shining
ready.
His belts.
Yeah, getting all his 8x10s ready. Getting ready to address the marks.
Exactly. Coming up on Friday, July 8th, George's and RF Video are teaming up to bring former WWE superstar Santino Marella to George's Cards and Collectibles in the Chamonix Mall from 6 to 9 p.m. George's Cards and Collectibles has been the leading collectibles store in the tri-state area for over 20 years. And I'm sure for at least 10 of those, you've been frequenting it. That's for sure, Lucas.
Yeah. No, they got a great selection of action figures and stuff like that. Wrestling figures, not just action figures.
Well, and sports memorabilia, and they have a lot of different things.
They have, what was it? They had actually at the New Falls Road store, they have a replica Ring of Honor World Championship belt on display now. Huh. Yeah, for all you Ring of Honor fans. I don't know if Reese is listening out there, but, there's your chance, son.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, there are 3 locations. The one that Lucas mentioned, their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, also in the Willow Grove Park Mall and in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. Get the latest info on George's Cards and Collectibles at their website, georgescollectibles.com, as well as through George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. We're going to go ahead and send things back to the studio. Ted Efaw, who is turning the dials, pushing the buttons, and praying we don't curse so that way he doesn't have to hit that dump button. He's going to take care of a little bit of business, and we're going to come back live from the MFPW Arena as we're gearing up for a big show later tonight, and we'll let you know more about that coming up as the hour goes on here. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
What's your stuff worth? If you're curious about what your antiques, collectibles, and general household contents are worth and don't want to spend a fortune to find out, call Mike Ivanovich for a house contents appraisal. For $195, Mike will travel to your home, verbally appraise your items, and recommend how and where you could sell for the most money possible. The typical house contents appraisal will typically take 1.5 to 2 hours. To schedule your house contents appraisal, call Mike today at 215-345-6094. Visit www.michaelivanovich.appraisals.com. To learn more, that's MICAELIVANKOVICH appraisals.com. 215-345-6094.
Take a stand.
Take a stand.
Take a stand.
Like my brother did, when he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Like my wife did, when she asked the right questions.
Like my friend did, when she made the call.
You stood by us when we were in uniform, so stand by us now.
Take a stand for those who served our country.
If you're a veteran in crisis or know one who is, the confidential Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Call 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. Chat at veteranscrisisline.net or text 838-255.
Join me, Dan Baker, and former Philly slugger Greg Luzinski for the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session, presented by Gage Fury. Attorneys at FightForYou.com every Monday, 6 to 7 p.m. right here on 1490 WBCB and 610 Sports.
All of your favorite shops are still open while the new Dion Square is under construction. You may have already visited the brand new First National Bank branch in Dion Square. When all the work is done, the new beautiful Dion Square will feature a new Pat Dion Beverages, a new Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits shop, and a brand new CVS Pharmacy. In the meantime, all of the shops are open for business while the new Dion Square takes shape. 518 South Oxford Valley Road in Fairless Hills.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, and we're celebrating the summer of shellfish. Celebrating items that made us famous. Our bread-dipping good crabs, delicious hardshell, Dungeness, and snow crabs. Our mouth-watering mussels, red or white, succulent shrimp, clams, oysters, and much more. Plus, special creations just for the summer of shellfish.
Go to chickiesandpete's.com and download your Summer of Shellfish calendar for the daily specials all summer long. chickiesandpete's.com.
Featuring something special every day. It's the summer of shellfish.
Got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so we might have
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry alongside Lucas DeSangro. We are live here at the MFPW Arena gearing up for a huge event later tonight.
Yeah, live and in living color.
Most certainly. You'll see Rico De La Vega's Beast Cartel challenging Paid in Full for the MFPW Tag Team Championship. Also, current Supersonic champion LSG takes on WWE Cruiserweight Classic participant Anthony Bennett. That's right. You saw him. You saw him with WWE's Cruiserweight Classic just a few days ago on Facebook Live and some other things. They had the taping going on, and that will air coming up in mid-July. We'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up in the hour as well. But getting into some of the news and notes, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Usually this is where I say he's got such and such a movie coming up, but no, in this particular case, he appeared on the UFC Unfiltered podcast that was released Thursday and stated that he had considered an MMA career roughly 10 years ago.
Really?
That's right. He said, quote, "There was a time where I thought, man, I'd achieved everything I wanted to achieve in WWE. My movie career is floundering a little bit. What do I do?"
What year was this, do you think? Because, like, I don't know. Scorpion King, I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't hear anything bad about his movie that he did with Scorpion King.
Well, I mean, if he says, like, 10 years ago, he would have been 34.
2006?
So that would have been about 2006. That was when he had things like Doom and the Tooth Fairy and some of the...
Doom? It's Tooth Fairy. Sorry, excuse me.
Well, I mean, that was, leading into that particular time, so...
True. I mean, no, he still had, like, blockbusters and everything, though, that he was in, for the most part.
Well, I know, but they didn't come until a little bit later, so this was when he was kind of in that crossroads of what to do.
True.
He said, "I was still relatively young. I think I was 34. I thought, oh, well, maybe UFC. Maybe I should do something like that." He went on to say, "In my head, I felt like it was at least a 2-year process for me to even get in the cage, let alone the UFC."
Oh, yeah, speaking of 2 years, we'll talk about that later.
I wasn't quite too sure what to do or what kind of people to put around me at the time, so the idea kind of fizzled out, and I continued to stay on the path of movie making. To say the least, I think that's gone fairly well for him.
Hey, I've heard very good things about his film Central Intelligence. Like he and Kevin Hart just killed it.
Yeah, no, they're doing very well with that movie. But yes,
Which I'm happy for Kevin Hart. Side note, I'm happy for Kevin Hart on that too, like quickly, because his movies haven't exactly been doing that well either. So sorry, back to you in the studio.
Fair enough. Wait, back to me. No, Ted's in the studio. I'm here next to you.
My bad.
Are you that? Come on, you can't be that dense already.
No, maybe.
No, maybe. Okay,
maybe. What's it to you?
Might be a new co-host. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Punk at UFC 203.
Oh, Chip Tooth. Sorry, he's out. My bad.
That's right. CM Punk is scheduled to make his long-awaited UFC debut on September 10th at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio.
Breaking news. It's been postponed to like January. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Postponed to August of next year.
You know that we're trying to provide credible news here. Well, that's probably why I'm the one.
Probably is going to be. Just give it a couple minutes. It'll probably be credible news.
All right. Settle down there, Karnak. Anyway, Punk will face Mickey Gall in a welterweight bout, and it will end a 21-month wait since Punk signed with UFC back in December of 2014.
21 months.
Well, I mean, The Rock said that it was at least a 2-year process to get in the cage. I mean, for him.
Yeah, but I think, like, I don't know. He probably would have, I guess he's not as injury prone or something like that, so maybe he would have taken him sooner.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Also, well, I was going to say, I know this is definitely in your wheelhouse, fresh off of the Best in the World pay-per-view with Ring of Honor last night. A little Ring of Honor news. Roderick Strong announcing that he will be leaving the Ring of Honor promotion following tonight's television taping.
Yeah.
Strong said in quotes published by the company, "I want to be able to personally thank everyone from the new fans that just found ROH to the fans that have followed me from the beginning. Ring of Honor is more than just a company to me, it's my family. I started as a 20-year-old kid just looking for an opportunity to learn and grow as a performer. Now I stand here after 12 and a half years loving it just as much, if not more, than when I came in. I want to thank you for your patience as you watched me grow over time. I want the cheers, the boos, and the passion you showed me. Most importantly, I want to thank you personally for always supporting the greatest company in the world, Ring of Honor."
Yeah. Speaking of
classy statement by Roderick Strong.
Yeah, very classy. Speaking of other stuff that happened at Best in the World, a return of the return of a
certain Taskmaster.
Yeah. So, for those that follow Ring of Honor, Steve Corino and BJ Whitmer have been engulfed in like almost a blood feud. It's gotten very personal storyline-wise. I enjoyed it a lot. So last night at the pay-per-view, they fought in an unsanctioned fight without honor, which is their version of street fight. And the return is of one Kevin Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody we haven't really seen since.
Yeah, see, that's what Fuji even said it. He's like 70. It's like, that's what we thought. He's probably like...
I was gonna say, keep it up. We should just put a microphone on you. He's like, well, I think he said something along the lines of no, but it involves something that pretty much proved why I shouldn't put a microphone on him.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Alrighty.
Do you think the mic will fit around his dreadlocks and everything?
I was gonna say this is it's a very wide headset, so I would imagine. I mean, if it'll fit around my afro, it'll fit around his dreadlocks.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Just throwing that one out there. A little bit of technical prowess and setup here because I'm kind of I'm like Bert from Mary Poppins. I'm doing a little bit of everything. All right, so Fuji Brown, welcome to the commentary. Well, not really table here, as we're here in the locker room of the MFPW.
Thanks for having me.
All righty. Yeah, we're live on the air, so again, don't...
yeah, I know.
Don't curse.
I gotta be...
There we go.
Twitch, I will hurt you.
A lot of people have said that, and they've followed through with it, so I believe you, but I don't care.
This guy.
It'll be worth it, I hope.
No.
Oh, mercy.
Oh, mercy.
All right, what were we talking about before? Oh, yeah, Kevin Sullivan. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I would probably put him in his 60s, but not quite at 70 yet. Yep, 66.
Okay, and my thing is, he wasn't a part of any of the build-up to the storyline, and from what I read, since we were training last night.
Yeah, we were here training.
Watch the pay-per-view.
When did you watch the pay-per-view?
No, I said we couldn't.
Oh, we couldn't.
It was a call it a flat/poor reaction from the fans as to why that would happen. I feel like with all the buildup that they had with Whitmer and Corino, that there should have been a definitive end to that feud, or if they weren't gonna end it, do something that didn't just leave the people thinking, and kind of shoot yourself in the foot with that.
Well, to be fair, this was, I think, the first time they locked up within the entire... They were supposed to lock up at Final Battle, actually, but Corino had to go through neck surgery back in December, or so. I think he went through surgery, right?
Yeah, but how long are you gonna be able to play this out? Like, what more can they really do? They've had Whitmer do the borderline creepy thing.
Well, did Sullivan?
Family.
Yeah, that was that. See, I told Fearon about that on the drive down.
Yeah.
If they want, I think that was a good. I don't endorse that kind of behavior, but that was a good thing to build up. I guess get some final heat on the match. I don't know. Do Corino and Sullivan have a history at all, or?
I don't know. I mean, he didn't even appear on the weekly television show to set it up, so it felt really random to a lot of people.
It was probably for more I guess maybe
they're doing some computatorial research here.
Let's see. Kevin Sullivan, Steve Corino is no. Oh, this was posted on June 20th, 2016 too. So
this was earlier this week.
Yeah, Kevin Sullivan spoke with his co-host, Evolve commentator, Mr. St. Laurent, about his mysterious appearance in a Steve Corino video posted by Ring of Honor over the weekend. I haven't been in a national promotion since I did one shot for TNA when Jerry Jarrett still owned it.
That's going back quite a ways.
Yeah. When they used to do pay-per-view every week, Sid Sullivan, a mainstay in promotions for 13 years. Pretty much, as for what made him want to get involved with Steve Corino's feud with BJ Whitmer, he said, Steve Corino's no good. BJ knows that because BJ's no good. It's an interesting thing when people finally face that they're no good. I think Steve understands it's just business, but there's something dark in Steve. If Steve ever got arrested for what he's probably done, his great-grandkids would have to finish up his time. So
the K is alive and strong in that one.
Yeah. So I really don't. I mean, I don't know what's up with that. I guess we'll have to tune into Ring of Honor television to find out.
Yeah. Do we even have? I guess we do because we live in Philadelphia. We have Ring of Honor TV. Right?
It depends. I don't. Are they still on Destination America or?
No. It's all on
Comet.
Yeah, Comet.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's a local station. Or you can go to the website and become a ringside member and watch the shows after they air on television.
Well, you can watch like the show from last week, but if you want to watch like episodes, they have like episodes back to like 2014.
Like a Gold Club member or something like that.
It's pretty much like they have their own mini WWE network.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but it's more with archived footage than it is for live streaming type things.
Yeah, so like ringside members get access to the exclusive video library, which is like complete ROH DVDs, classic Ring of Honor matches, exclusive access to every episode of Ring of Honor since 2011, which is like 15% off all merchandise, and they get exclusive discounts on iPay-per-views, access to exclusive interviews and web chats with wrestlers, no pre-roll ads on other video content, and much more.
That's a lot of exclusivity.
Oh, yeah. Another thing is you can buy tickets to most events before they go on sale to the public.
Oh, a little advanced VIP ticket sale action.
It's like when you pre-order a game at GameStop, and you can get in a little bit before everybody else at the midnight release.
Exclusive discounts on iPay-per-view.
Yeah.
So they just want you to buy more stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's kind of how commerce works.
Yeah, it's like
is if you buy something, it's like they kind of want you to buy more.
Hey, but you know what? It's the thing.
It's not a terrible deal.
Yeah, especially with like this. Plus the fact that it's
that's only $5 a month.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. $5.99 a month.
No, 5 flat.
Oh, 5 a month.
But so's the,
yeah, I was trying to make a.
I know it's him and his Pensbury math.
So's the.
And gritted teeth on the part of Lucas. So I'm going to go ahead and move on here.
You know what? We might actually be having a fight without honor soon enough, Fearon, with the jabs you've been pulling at me.
You couldn't even beat up Stewart. What are you talking about trying to wrestle for Ron?
Way to break kayfabe there, Fuji.
What happened? Who's that?
Man.
Who's she? I don't know what you're talking about. Moving right along.
Oh, goodness. TNA, meanwhile, has announced, while one leaves, 3 are kind of coming into a different organization. TNA announcing the re-signing of Rockstar Spud and Trevor Lee on their website.
Excellent.
Both men are former X Division champions, Spud having 2 title reigns back in 2015, while Lee held the title for 5 months, losing it to Eddie Edwards earlier this month at Slammiversary. TNA also announced the signing of Chelsea Green. Who's that?
Chelsea Green. She's a
Canadian.
Yep, the former Lance Storm student, competed on the most recent season of WWE Tough Enough, and is best known for appearing on Raw in the role of Megan Miller, a physical therapist for Daniel Bryan.
Okay, yep, I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. The light bulbs all just clicked on.
She also wrestled here at the MFPW.
Mm-hmm. Hey. Good stuff. Good stuff.
How's about that? All right, I think we're at a point where we're going to take care of our second timeout here. We're going to take things back to the studio, but of course, that also means you know what time it is. Time to talk about my friends over at the Broken Goblet Brewery. Big things coming up in the next few weeks at the Broken Goblet Brewery at 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Oh, man. If you haven't gotten the chance, there's still some bottles of their 8% Hefeweizen beer called Crystal Hef. It's like a whole Breaking Bad type thing. And Fuji is excited about that.
I don't think it's that.
Oh, no. Okay, he's looking at something else. Sorry. Looking at the other notes and whatnot?
I'm looking at the cheat sheet a little bit.
Oh, okay. He's looking at the cheat sheet. If you still haven't gotten the chance, there's that. Also coming up on Saturday, July 16th, Goblet Stock 2. Celebrating 2 years of the Broken Goblet being in operation. There'll be food trucks. There'll be a water slide. There'll be live music from Hawthorne Heights. And the beer list has been released. 29 B-Gob original beers from all of the seasons will be on tap at the event, including All Goblets Have Spirits, their 9.6% Scotch ale brewed with maple syrup and Gala apples.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, it's delicious. That is probably my favorite of all of them. Usually you have to wait until the autumn to get it, right around Halloween, but they're going to have it for this special event. Also, a very popular winter beer, Santa's Slayzon. Yes, that is a Saison brewed with spiced apple cider tea. And a very limited release of the original 2014 edition of Bubba's Tea Bag. That's right, an ale brewed with a superfruit unity green tea that is no longer in production. I guess they found a little bit of it in the back and were able to make up a batch of the beer. That's just 3 of the examples of the 29 different beers that are going to be on tap at Goblet Stock 2 coming up on Saturday, July 16th. And to make things even better, live from noon to 1 that Saturday, yours truly, as well as Lucas, will be on hand for kind of a pregame warm-up to the festivities. And that'll certainly be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that'll just mean I'll be salivating the whole time because I'll have to wait till I'm off the air to enjoy any of the libations. So that will be both challenging and entertaining as well. To say the least, there'll be fun, hilarity, hijinks, and, of course, beer. It's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Anyway, we're going to take it back to the studio. Fuji Brown joining in on commentary. You want to stick around for the next segment, or the final segment of the show?
This should be an interesting segment because I was reading ahead. That's why I got excited.
Oh, all righty. And, of course, alongside Lucas DeSangro, I'm Fearon Derry. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Let's go. Growing your business can certainly be a challenge. Univest Bank and Trust Company has partnered with WBCB on a small business series to help you achieve your goals. Tune in to Building Your Business with Univest Small Business Banking President Hugh Connolly and other industry experts. Join us every Wednesday morning at 9:30 to gain insight, solutions, and tips to help your business prosper. Univest's Building Your Business with Hugh Connolly every Wednesday morning at 9:30, right here on 1490 WBCB. Univest Bank and Trust Company is a member of the FDIC and an equal opportunity lender.
We once again asked 12 Pennsylvania kids who are waiting to be adopted what having a permanent home would mean to them.
I want somebody who would just keep caring for me no matter what.
I dream about growing up in one house with one family.
There are hundreds of Pennsylvania kids over the age of 12 looking for someone like you to be their foster or adoptive parent. Learn how at adoptpakids.org or call 1-800-585-SWAN.
I'm a great kid. I love to have you for a family.
Family is something every kid deserves.
Sponsored by Pennsylvania Department of Human Services.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Elegant ambiance, sophisticated decor, award-winning Italian cuisine and wine. Davio's Northern Italian Steakhouse. Located in the historic Provident Bank Building in Center City, Davio's is a Best of Philly Award winner. Executive Chef David Boyle creates seasonal dishes as well as signature favorites such as the Davio's Natural Prime Brand Beef Steaks, award-winning veal porterhouse, fresh seafood, and handmade pastas. Davio's, 111 South 17th Street in Philadelphia.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, June 25. On this date in 1976, the WWF held its Showdown at Shea Supercard. In the featured match, Andre the Giant defeated Chuck Wepner by countout in a wrestler versus boxer match. On this date in 1995, the WWF held its King of the Ring pay-per-view. In the main event, Bam Bam Bigelow and Diesel defeated Tatanka and Psycho Sid in a tag team match. On this date in 2000, WWF held its King of the Ring pay-per-view. In the main event, Kane, The Undertaker, and The Rock defeated Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Shane McMahon in a six-man tag team match. On this date in 2006, WWE held its Vengeance pay-per-view. In the main event, Shawn Michaels and Triple H defeated Johnny, Kenny, Mikey, Mitch, and Nikki of the Spirit Squad in a handicap tag team match. This has been Today in Wrestling History, June 25. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro here live from the MFPW Arena. In fact, we are in the locker room and weight room of the MFPW Arena, switching things up just a little bit. So you might hear a little clanging and banging going on in the background, and that's people getting ready for the big event later tonight, which we'll tell you about coming up in just a few short moments. But Fuji, I'm sure you were excited. Well, I know we were all excited because one of our own was participating in the Cruiserweight Classic, Anthony Bennett. Yes, the hip-hop parading, high-top fading, high flyer, Anthony Bennett. He's going to be part of the Cruiserweight Classic, which will premiere Wednesday, July 13th at 9 p.m. Eastern on the WWE Network. It is a 10-week tournament that will air every Wednesday night and culminate with a live 2-hour special on Wednesday, September 14th. But something that got a lot of people excited, the commentators for the event, SmackDown's Mauro Ranallo and WWE legend Daniel Bryan.
Oh, yes.
Lucas is excited.
Yes,
You're
he is.
darn right I'm excited.
It's been an exciting week for him.
I know, right? Like the kid's head's gonna explode if he has any more excited.
I know. If he was any more excited, he'd be damp.
Right?
He is gonna.
He's so mad right now.
I know. He's so angry.
It's because he's 18.
No, I was angry much longer.
Yeah, the pent-up teenage angst just building. It's probably going to punch me in the face as soon as 101 hits and we're off the air here.
No, I don't. That's too obvious. Then we can go to Wawa. Who's we?
All of it.
After insulting me, you think I'm going to take you to Wawa?
He has the car.
Oh boy! All right,
but I love you, Lucas. It's okay.
I love me too. Thanks, Fuji. Joking.
This guy. I got nothing for that.
That's gonna be a drop too. Him saying I love me.
I love me too. Thanks.
Oh yes, so much fun here. One thing that isn't nearly as fun though, WWE Hall of Famer Jerry Lawler and his fiancee Lauren McBride. They appeared in a Memphis, Tennessee court on Monday for the first time since they were both charged with domestic assault last Friday morning. The judge ordering no communication between the couple and set a July 1st court date. McBride's attorney, Mark Messler, telling Memphis's WMC-TV that the next hearing will likely be when a course of action is determined, adding, quote, "On that day, decisions will get made about whether this case can be settled, whether it can be dropped, whether we are going to settle, go to trial, or a hearing." Lots of options. Lots of legalese things and whatnot.
Yeah.
Lawler, of course, remaining on indefinite suspension from WWE while the legal process continues. Also, WWE has announced the Raw and SmackDown brand draft will be held on the first night of live SmackDown, Tuesday, July 19th. The two programs will compete with each other for television ratings, live events, and pay-per-views, according to the press release. So it looks like we may have brand-exclusive pay-per-views after all. Or I guess, network exclusives, whichever you want to refer.
Brand.
I know. I still call them pay-per-views.
Well, you have to pay for the network, so technically.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. You're just paying a lot less for the view if you get it on the network.
It's going to be interesting to see, like now with SmackDown going live as of July 19th.
Will we see the return of such events like Vengeance and Backlash?
Well,
Judgment Day, maybe? Judgment Day,
like, if they're really,
Armageddon.
If they're really going to compete, is SmackDown going to be on a product that's on par to Raw? Raw's a 3-hour broadcast. SmackDown's a 2-hour broadcast. Like
a lot of people think that Raw should be a 2-hour broadcast.
Are they going to expand SmackDown or cut down on Raw just so that?
I was going to say I'd rather see the latter of those two scenarios.
What, cut down on Raw? Like a 2-hour show. I mean,
I don't see it likely happening, but I think just for a lot of viewers' sake, I mean that would be the best change. Just because on a pay-per-view week, you're asking you're asking 8 hours over a combined 3 days of commitment, 3 consecutive days, 3 hours of the pay-per-view, or 3+ as we saw with Money in the Bank. Because now, because they're on the network, they're not necessarily adhering to the pay-per-view cable providers' time constraints. So if they wanted to go 3.5, 3:40, they certainly can. They don't necessarily have to cram things into roughly 2 hours and 50 minutes like they have in the past. So the fact that you've got that 3.5-ish hours on Sunday, plus another 3-ish hours on Monday, because Raw usually has the overrun, and then another 2 hours maybe-ish of SmackDown, because it's live, there may be an overrun there as well.
Exactly.
All told, yeah, you're looking at potentially 9 hours over 3 days of wrestling commitment from your audience. I just think that might be a bit much to ask.
You're right. Like, we'll see what happens. I mean, what's interesting is, with SmackDown going live on Tuesday, what does that do for TNA? I mean, they're taped.
Yeah, and the fact that, I mean, their viewership is already questionable. I mean, might this force them to move to another night? Might this be the final straw that kind of takes them out of the competition?
And that's the thing. It's like, I don't think it's going to be one of those final straw deals. Like, I mean, I enjoy the TNA product. I've been watching it for the better part of its existence. I don't think like the WWE, they've said it on multiple occasions, they don't see TNA as quote unquote competition, even though you don't see them as quote unquote competition when their big names come, when their big name contracts end, you snatch those guys up. So, I mean,
I think they're looking at the individual talents more so than the organization as a whole.
I think like it's not. It could affect TNA to a certain extent, but at the same time, I think they're going to have their fan base that they're going to have no matter what, and their fan base that they've had that's stuck through them being on Spike and Destination America and Pop TV. They do, like, even though their numbers aren't, on the quote,
they aren't stellar.
Yeah, they're not WWE level. They do have a very loyal and legion fan base that has followed them across 3 networks in the span of 2 years. So I think if they can stay on Pop, get some more traction on Pop TV, but also if Pop gets into more houses, becomes available on streaming devices like Roku, etc., that can help TNA in the near-term future.
Yeah, that seems to be a problem with, like, when they go to cable provider exclusive networks, you lose viewers out the wazoo, and I think it would be better for them if maybe they.
I'm very surprised that TNA doesn't. I mean, maybe they do have one, and I'm just not aware of it. An on-demand service, like
I think they have something. They have something on Fight Network, don't they?
They've been starting to deal with that a little bit, kind of crossing, but I know that's more of a Canadian
the Fight Network
type thing.
Canadian and international. Like, there is some Fight Network coverage in the United States. That's mostly on satellite. You can get it on your Roku, but that's going to cost you a little more money, and it's not
so it's not as readily available, I think, is kind of the main point.
What I've noticed is Fight Network's doing this thing where they're picking up a lot of wrestling, like it's the Fight Network, yeah, it's a lot of MMA, but they're starting to pick up more professional wrestling content, be it TNA, Insane Championship Wrestling out of Scotland, and some New Japan Wrestling. So it's like, if you're a fan of professional wrestling and international flavor
in a global type scenario, that's certainly the thing for you. All right, we've got a few minutes left here, and I definitely wanted to get into this. Now, as we said in the top of the program, Roman Reigns suspended for violating the WWE wellness policy, and unfortunately, a lot of people seem to immediately think, oh, he was taking steroids or something like. Well, not so fast. I mean, the wellness policy is very detailed, and while I can't get into every single thing on there, it's on WWE's corporate website.
Yes.
But I mean, some of the list of, I guess, banned drugs, they mention performance-enhancing drugs, which include anabolic, androgenic steroids. Basically anything based on the natural steroid testosterone is prohibited. And there's a bunch of different things that are listed here that I could attempt to pronounce. And I know I kind of did a little bit earlier, things like dihydrotestosterone and This one was just for me exclusive. Stenozolol, trenbolone, they're just a bunch of different things. Also some various peptide hormones and human growth hormone. I mean, those are the ones you would kind of expect. But some of the other things on the banned list include stimulants, the non-medical use of amphetamine, methamphetamine, phentermine, which is a weight loss drug, or other amphetamine derivatives is prohibited.
Ecstasy's on that list.
Yeah, ecstasy's on that list as well. MDMA, Eve. I mean, yeah, they cover all the facets here. Pseudoephedrine.
Sudafed?
Yeah, the over-the-counter Sudafed that usually, at least here in PA, I'm not sure if it's national or not, but you have to.
It's national.
Oh, it is national.
You can't buy more than a certain amount because Walter White.
It's been before Walter White.
Well, yeah, I know. It's like, you know.
I'll say it. I lived in the Midwest for the better part of 15 years, and I come from a state that is, for better or for worse, known as one of the meth capitals of the United States of America. Good old Indiana.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like it's to the point now where.
So that's why Vonnegut, how he got to write Slaughterhouse 5, right?
Like that's crazy. It's like people you can't even if you get sick or if you have allergies now, you have to have identification and get medication because so many people have abused and or perverted the use of pseudoephedrine. It's crazy now that it's showing up on banned substances list, and it's a readily available over-the-counter medication for allergies.
Well, I mean, here's the twist to it, because now that I'm reading a little bit further into it, it's not as egregious, but it's still somewhat egregious. The following uses of pseudoephedrine, even if purchased as an over-the-counter medication without a prescription, are prohibited under this policy. The use of pseudoephedrine in a manner which is inconsistent with the instructions provided by the drug manufacturer. In other words, if you use it in concentrations or amounts in excess of the recommended manufacturer's dose, that's prohibited. Or using it in a manner or an amount that may cause to an increased risk to health, safety, or an impairment of ability to perform his or her duties in relation to a WWE event or WWE scheduled performance. So it's pretty much, in this case, the too much of a good thing clause. That's the simplest way to put that.
You got to deal with them allergies, take a Claritin.
Or Aleve. Well, I mean, my bad, Allegra. Yeah. Aleve is something else.
I was going to say, here comes my pharmacy tech knowledge. Claritin and Allegra are antihistamines. That's for when you have like a runny nose. Sudafed is when you're all stuffed up. That's to deal with nasal congestion. So they're a little bit different.
Wait, Allegra's an antihistamine?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't take any of them. They're all bad.
I was going to say, I've worked for years as a pharmacy tech, so I'd like to think that I know a little bit of what I'm doing.
No, I'm not doubting that.
I'm sure he does.
I was trying to...
But yes, they also mentioned narcotic analgesics or like narcotic pain relievers, benzodiazepines. Those are all of your anti-anxiety meds like Xanax, Ativan, Valium, things like that. Barbiturates, things like Fioricet and Fiorinol. They have a bunch more listed here, but I'm for time constraints kind of going through the quick ones here. Diuretics or water pills, things like Lasix or hydrochlorothiazide, things like that.
What is that for?
Cut weight.
Yeah, it's like it cuts water out of your body to cut weight.
So you're not allowed to do that?
No.
That's...
Yeah, well,
is that doing the opposite of steroids, though?
It's in a non-medical capacity, though. Again, that's the key word for all of these.
So non-medical you can't use?
No.
Yeah, the non-medical use of muscle relaxers, things like Soma and Scalaxin, things like that. Sleep aids like Ambien and others. Anti-estrogen pills. And there are prescription medications as long as they're not being taken as they're directed. All that stuff. Plus, they mentioned herbal and dietary supplements. So it could have been something he picked up from GNC. That's pretty much where I'm going.
Wait, you're not allowed to use dietary supplements?
Some of them, no. It seems like they're trying to...
It says they represent risk of testing positive for a prohibited drug under this policy. So it's kind of one of those let the buyer beware type deals. I mean, you see that in professional sports as well. All right, we've got just about a minute left here, so it's time for... birthdays. You are so not paying attention.
I was sorry. I was checking a Facebook thing from the fan page from what John Yamtov posted. He said, paraphrasing, of course, because I had to exit out of it quickly. It was Fred Savage for me will always no matter what from Super Mario Brothers 3.
No matter what he stars in, I cannot think about Mario Brothers 3. I'm looking right at it. Anyway, birthdays. On this date in 1915, William John Potts was born. The two-time world heavyweight champion and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer known as Whipper Billy Watson passed away in 1990 at the age of 74. Also on this date in 1977, Layla L. was born. The former WWE Women's Champion and Divas Champion turns 39 today. And finally on this date in 1988, Mark Haskins was born. The former British TNA X Division competitor turns 28 today. So there you go. A few birthdays to throw out there. That's going to do it for us. Thank you to Fuji Brown joining us here on the program. Thanks to Lucas, as always, for whatever it is that he does. Thanks to Ted Efaw back in studio for turning the dials and pushing the buttons. And next week, we'll be back in studio for a patriotic edition because it's 4th of July weekend. But until then, play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB.